What's up, everybody? This is Jordan with Pulls and Pars, and today we're going to build a Bo Jackson Battle Arena spec deck. So in a lot of our live streams, we've been getting a lot of questions surrounding playing the game and deck building, and we're more than happy to answer those questions on stream, guys. Don't be afraid to ask those questions in the chat. But we're going to make a little series here to have a more permanent place for everyone to reference when they're just curious about the gameplay side of Bo Jackson Battle Arena. Because the gameplay is the funnest part of Bo Jackson Battle Arena. And to me, the absolute easiest way to learn to play is to just sign up for a sealed tournament near you and play it. We'll also be making a video on playing sealed tournaments. It's not very hard, but you can also just show up to a sealed tournament and learn as you go. It's really not hard. A 10-year-old can learn to play it in about 15 minutes. But today we're going to be talking about a spec deck and everything that surrounds the spec deck side of gameplay. So let's go ahead and dive in. So to get started, let's discuss what a spec deck actually is and go over some of the rules and parameters of building a compliant deck for tournament play. And if at any point my explanations sound too confusing, don't worry about it, guys. Just keep watching. We'll go over all the do's and don'ts while we're actually building the deck. Again, it's not complicated. It's actually pretty easy. So we'll go through it step by step in this video. But first, let's just establish what a spec deck is. A spec deck is going to be your standard play deck. It's the most common deck for tournament play, and it's where most of the prize money is going to be played for at. There are other decks that have big prize pools as well, but we'll keep it simple with your most standard and simple deck to build just for the video's sake. So a spec deck consists of 60 cards with a 160 power cap. You can't have any cards above 160 power in a spec deck. And you can't have more than 6 cards of a single power. So generally your spec deck is going to be 115 to 160 power, but it doesn't have to be. Say you don't have any 160 power cards. You can make your deck from 110 to 155. Or if you don't have any 155s either, you can make it 105 to 150. Now, that deck would probably get crushed in tournament play, but if you're just playing friends and family, just use what you have, guys. The game is about having fun, so you have to play the game to have fun. So on top of the 160 power cap and a 6-card max of each power, there are some limitations of what specific cards you can and can't use in a compliant spec deck. So Bo Jackson Battle Arena, they classify cards into 4 categories. We're going to go name, description, weapon, and power. You can't use 2 of the same cards where all 4 of these classifications are the same. So it's best if I just show you an example. So let's just take a look at some cards to get a better understanding of what it actually means. So you can't use 2 of the exact same cards in the same deck. That's a no-go. But let's take a look at these 2 Jackson Dart inspired dartboards. One is going to be dartboard on your Steel Blizzard, and the other one is going to be dartboard on your Silver Steel. They look like 2 completely different cards, yeah? Well, let's take a look at them according to the classifications. So we're going to have dartboard as the name. Then we're going to go right under the name, and you look at description. Let me zoom in for you guys. So we go right under the name, and we look at the description, and they both say first edition. Over here, the power is both 125, and down here, the weapon is both steel. So I know they look like 2 different cards, but you cannot use these in the same deck. So let's take a look at another example. This is going to be your Ace Bailey inspired Air Ace. One is going to be on your 80s Rad Steel, and the other one is going to be an Air Ace on your Steel Mixtape. Now let's take a look at the names. They both say Air Ace. The description, they are both first edition, and the power is both 120. Let's take a look at the weapons down here. They are both steel weapons. So again, I know these cards look different, but you cannot play them in the same deck. So what can you play in the same deck? Well, let's go back to a dartboard. Here is a dartboard on the Steel Blizzard that we showed earlier. And this is dartboard on your orange battle foil. So if we go down, we check the names. They are both the same. The description, both first edition. But here's where we see some differences. A 130 power to 125 power. Then down here, that's a fire weapon, and that's going to be a steel weapon. You can play these two cards in the same deck. They are completely compatible with each other, and they're awesome cards to go in your deck. And here's an even better example. We got a Racer, Alicia Clark debut. We got one on your chillin'. We got one on your grilling. So let's take a look a little closer. They both say Eraser as the hero name. Right under it, they're both going to say Alicia Clark debut as the description. The power, they're both 145. Now down here at the weapon, this is going to be fire and this one's going to be ice. These two cards are perfectly playable in the same deck. Something to note about these two cards is there used to be a rule that you could only have 6 of the same hero in the same deck, but with the release of Griffey and heroes returning from alpha and update with different powers, they lifted that rule so you can have as many cards from a single hero as you'd like, as long as you follow the 4 classifications we just went over. All right, so now that we have all the rules and limitations to a spec deck, let's just see what we can put together. I have a bunch of cards here and Dragon Shield sleeves, which are what most people use for tournament decks. Some people put their cards in perfect fit penny sleeves, which Dragon Shield also makes, and then they put them into this Dragon Shield sleeve. I just use the straight up Dragon Shield sleeve. I think they're protective enough, and I'm not sponsored by Dragon Shield or anything, but I think they make a great product. So hit us up, Dragon Shield. But yeah, if you want any more protection than this, you can definitely do that in the form of a proxy. Proxy's pretty much just like a fake card they'll give you to use in your deck while your expensive card's locked up in a vault. Costs like $8 for a proxy if you want to use that card. It has to be graded, so just be aware of that. If you have an expensive card and you want to proxy it, it needs to be in a graded slab. Proxies are usually more seen in Apex decks from the 190 to 200 powers, you know, the big boys. But you can use them on any card you want. If you have a really valuable card you don't want to play in your deck, then get it proxied. But like I was saying, there's a bunch of cards here, so let's get to building. Let's find these 115s. So here we go. Got 6 115s. That's 6. We got 6 120s. This is actually a great example right here, guys. Let's go over these cards. This will work with one of the examples we were going over earlier. So these are both Bojaxes, 150 steals. This is the baseball version from PSA Magazine. This is the football version from PSA Magazine. Let's just take a look at them a little closer. So this one said, they both say Bojax as the name. PSA Magazine football under this one. Then you see PSA Magazine baseball under the baseball one. The powers are the same, and they're both going to be steel. You can most definitely play these two cards in the same deck because the description is different. You got PSA Magazine football and PSA Magazine baseball. So they do not meet all 4 of the qualifications to not play it in your deck. And I actually encourage you play these cards in the same deck. These are some of the cheapest 150 steals you can find. As of January 2026, they're about $5 to $10 on eBay. So you can fill out your 150s pretty easily with these 2 cards, and then you can get the rest of your 150s. But yeah, let's continue finishing this deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that on Raw is nasty. All right, guys. So I was actually able to build a whole deck here from 115 to 160 powers. But what if you're missing some cards at certain powers and can't fill out all of your 60 cards from 115 to 160? It's not really a problem. You just use some lower power cards to make up for where you're lacking. So let's say we only had four 160s. We'll get rid of 2 of these. So we'll put these 2 to the side. So say we only had 4 160 powers. You could just fill them in with a 110 power. So you just you're missing 2 160s, you just go lower. So we have 115 to 160, but you're missing 2 160s. So you just put the 110s in. And you could do that with any power pretty much. Say you were missing 2 of your 145s. We'll take 2 of these out. So now we only have 4 160s and 4 145s. Would use 2 more 110 powers to sub in for your 145. So that would make it 4 110 powers with 4 160s and 4 145s. And you can just keep going down if you don't have a lot of cards. Also, you may have noticed my deck is all steel. Don't worry about that, guys. That is my strategy. And there's certain strategies from plays with certain weapon types. That is not like your standard. Other people play half steel, half fire. Other people play glow decks. Other people just mix it up. It doesn't really matter. Well, it does matter, but don't get hung up on that yet. It is a purely based strategy thing, and you should just get to playing right now. All right, let me clean this up. Okay, so the hero deck's complete. Now let's move on to plays. We're going to make a video about play strategy because that is the more complex part of the game, and you have to know what you're doing to build a tournament competitive deck. But for now, I recommend just throwing together whatever plays you have and start playing. Once you get the hang of things, you'll figure out what plays you like best and the ones you don't, and you can adjust from there. So a spec deck is going to consist of 30 plays and as many bonus plays as you want. Most decks only use about 4 to 7 bonus plays though, but you have to have 30 plays. No more, no less. No duplicate plays, and that goes for your bonus plays as well. Only 1 of each play. There's something like 350 to 400 plays out there, so the combinations are endless. I don't even have every play. It becomes a whole nother hunt to go along with your hero collection to get all the plays you want. I recommend going to the Bo Jackson Battle Arena website once you're ready and take a look at their checklist where they have every play from every set listed. I'll link that below, but let's just take a look at some standard plays. So your main sets are going to be Alpha, Alpha Update, and Griffey. So those are probably the plays you're going to come across. You'll probably have more Griffey if you're just now getting into it. But we'll zoom in and take a look at some of these plays so you can distinguish them. This is an Alpha play. It's just going to say, you can identify it because it's just going to say card over here. I don't know why that's not focusing in, but it's just going to say card in the bottom left corner. And right here, it'll also say 2024 Bo Jackson Battle Arena in that small print. This is an alpha play. Let's see what we got here. This is going to be an alpha update play. It's going to say update in the bottom left corner. And it will also say 2025 Bo Jackson Battle Arena at the bottom. You have plays from Griffey. Griffey has a new logo, so you can tell that. And it will say 2026 right here in the bottom left corner. Then you'll have like your HTD plays. These came out of Blast, and they are plays from Alpha and Update, but they cost $1 less. They are foiled, and they're going to say HTD down here. Then you'll have your bonus plays. So your bonus plays are going to be labeled a BPL at the bottom. This is an Alpha bonus play. And this one is going to be an update bonus play. It says update here at the bottom, BPL 13. As far as the HTD plays go, you do not need these plays. They count as standard plays though, so they are good to have. Not 100% necessary. I only have a few in my deck, so just use what you have. Now, outside of just playing with friends and family, there is a DBS system for tournament play as well. DBS stands for Deck Balancing System. It's pretty much a salary cap on what plays you can use together, so certain decks don't become too overpowered in tournament play. We'll cover all that more in depth in a future video, but for now, we'll just take a quick look at it. So here we are on your Deck Balancing System website. Up here, you're going to see this minus 1,000. That's your total DBS you're allotted for a tournament deck. Each play is going to have a DBS value to it. So we go down here, we can choose the alpha update set, and let's choose a play. We'll choose cheap edition. So cheap edition is going to cost 1 hot dog, and it's going to charge you 37 DBS. So up here, it added the DBS to your negative 1,000, and now we have 963 DBS left to go through our other 29 plays and bonus plays. And down here is going to be where you put your bonus plays in. So we'll go to the Griffey set. Let's add Hot Dog Thief. So we find Hot Dog Thief. That is going to cost 0 hot dogs and add 10 to your DBS. And you notice it added to that. And that's pretty much all we're going to go through with the DBS system today. If you get more into playing and you want to build a tournament deck, then go check this site out. I'll link it down below. But for now, that's all we're going to touch on. So here are the 30 plays I put together. I only play 3 bonus plays, so I have 30 plays and then 3 bonus plays. This is my 30 plays. I'll link this deck down below. It's a great deck to definitely get you started with. It's a competitive deck. It's not going to win any tournaments right now. I got to go back to the drawing board. Like I said, though, we'll discuss play strategy and play styles in another video. For now, just get to playing. That's the main thing. If you decide you do want to build a competitive deck, stay tuned for our future videos. Also, if you're looking to play against people online, check out the Discord league that our friends over at Valley Hit House run. I'll post the link below to that as well. After you finish building your plays, all you need to do is add 10 dogs to your deck. Any hot dogs will do with a spec deck. That's the easiest thing to come across, so we won't discuss anything about hot dogs. That is your currency of the game, and you have to have 10, just 10. That is it. And after you gather exactly 10 hot dogs, your deck's pretty much complete, guys. So we have 60 heroes in our deck from 115 to 160. We have 30 plays and 3 bonus plays to make a total of 33. We have our 10 hot dogs, and your deck is complete. Get to playing. And that'll pretty much wrap it up, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, like and subscribe. Really helps us out. Be on the lookout for our next videos detailing sealed tournament play and play deck strategy. And have a good one. Thanks, guys.